Hi, and welcome to For Preachers, Pastors, and Church Planters. Today I wanted to share a scripture and a thought with you. I think it's important that every church makes room for new people. You might say, well, that's something that we agree in. But I believe that you have to intentionally set things up so that new people can come in, but also get involved immediately. We have to find ways for them to integrate themselves into the church, and they're connected. When you read in John chapter 5, verse 1, it says, "After this there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first after the stirring of the water was made well of whatever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, 'Do you want to be made well?'" I think it's interesting because this place is called Bethesda, and Bethesda means a house of mercy. I believe every one of our churches, missions, new works need to be a place of mercy, a true house of mercy. I think sometimes we say that we believe in mercy, but the process of our church, the actions, don't allow for it. Sometimes people who need mercy don't feel comfortable in our homes, our churches, in our places. And people who need to be restored or reconciled, leaders who need to be brought back to the place where they were at, instead of bringing them in and sitting them somewhere in the back and never giving them hope of being used again. I believe that the house of mercy has to be just that, a place where someone can come in and be restored, feel safe, feel protected. Bethesda was a house of mercy. Can I tell you that if you're truly a place of mercy, mercy will always attract many people. And it will always attract people who are hurting, people who are sick, people who are in need. In this scripture, we see that Bethesda attracted so many people that the scripture says that they had to provide a place for so many, that there was 5 porches built. 5 porches of people that were in need. I can imagine the leaders seeing the multitude of people. They had to continue to expand. They had to continue to plan so that they could create space for all of these people. There might be a mindset from somebody listening that says, well, unless they're productive, unless they're contributing, unless they're converted, we really don't have to commit too much to them. That's the wrong thinking. This scripture says that they had 5 porches. Can you imagine the overflow? Can you imagine the space needed so that they could have a place for this community of need? Notice the people that were on the porches. Sick people, the blind, the lame, and the paralyzed, all waiting for the moment when an angel was going to come in their life. All waiting for that moment for change. And I can imagine they weren't patient waiters. They weren't people that were in a good mood all the time. They might have been difficult to handle because there was sickness, there was pain. That never brings out the best in us. But as leaders, we need to provide a place. Look at these people. They were hurt, but they needed a place to wait. They had issues, but they needed a place to heal. place where they could wait. I know for pastors, this might be difficult because you spend so much time and counseling and helping, and you're expecting people to change and commit, and when they don't, we think, well, there's something wrong with them. I know for preachers, we preach our best message, the message that we've used in other places, and it had great results. But now at our local place, at our local church, it seems like we're not gaining the results that we want. And now we wonder if there's something wrong with these people. No, they just need a place to wait. For the church planner who has been casting vision, has been eager to expand and grow, but because there's certain people that are waiting and won't convert quickly, they can become impatient and frustrated with them. No, we need to be gracious enough to wait and to allow people to come in, connect themselves to our church. We need to have a church where people with issues can wait. A place where people who don't understand our church practices, our biblical beliefs, where they can come, be fed, and wait. You might say, well, why do we have to wait so long? Because there's an angel that's going to come in their life. He's going to show up and he's going to heal them. I can remember at our church when I was growing up, there was a woman who was a vital part of our church. She was one of the leaders. She was always fundraising, always doing things for the best and benefit of the church. And I remember she was converted. She was a believer, but her husband was an unbeliever. And I remember he would come and he would just be there just to be with her. And a large, tall, statured man. I mean, he would just be a shadow over you. And I remember seeing him, and whenever he'd be in church, he did not look happy. He did not look like he wanted to be there. He almost had a grimace look where this was taking his time and this was not comfortable for him. But he would sit there with his wife just to be there. But I also remember that when his wife would be in charge of some kind of a kitchen project where they would make some food, I do remember him being in the kitchen, and he was such a great cook. Food was amazing, and when you would see him in the kitchen, he would be smiling and almost in a better mood. It was like two different people. Inside of a church context, there was an issue, there was problems, but outside, he just seemed to be all bright and light up. I'm so glad that the leaders in our church had the wherewithal where they gave this man an opportunity. It took years, but one day an angel came into his life. And I remember the day that he got baptized, he was like a new man. I remember being so intimidated of him before, but after he gave his life to God, there was these huge bear hugs that he would give. You know something about that family? They went on and to minister to so many people. They were the kind of people that when someone would pass away in your family, they were the first ones there with trays of food, enchiladas, soup, whatever they could give. When people were hurting, they were the first ones there to stand at the door, knock, and offer something. Maybe they couldn't wipe the pain because someone had departed, but they were going to stand with you, and they were going to love you, and they were going to feed you. You know, this man, Brother Joe, he just passed away a few weeks ago because of this pandemic. But I'm so grateful that there was a church, a porch that allowed him to wait. Because I truly believe that they were able to serve so many hearts, minister to so many people. But he just needed time for his angel to arrive. You might say, well, how long is long enough? How long do we preach to them? How long do we take time with them? I know sometimes we get these moments of, I don't know if they're frustration or faith, but we look at people and say, well, you're going to have to change right now. But unless God changes them, is it true change? You say, how long? Well, the man in John chapter 5 had to wait 38 years. And in the 39th year, his angel came. Jesus Christ came to change his life. I pray, make room. Allow them to be connected and see that the angel of the Lord will come into their life. Thank you so much for joining us.